Hello, everyone. This is my Module 12, my design of a data protocol and a graphic organizer. So I'm going to make this quick. Here we go. So I kind of screenshotted my data analysis protocol. So this is partly what we use at my school, but I added pieces that I felt were important have always been missing from this protocol. So first of all, this is how we kind of like break down the data and analyze it. So I know you all can read, but you're basically breaking down to how they did in terms of if they met standard, approaches standard, met standard, and then of course if they were absent. And then this is where we break it down by your subgroups, same kind of thing. And then you write if you have any trends or observations, and again, mark if you have kids absent, especially if your school has absentee problems. And then we're going to examine the standards. So then we talk about what standards were a strength of students. Did this surprise you? Was it consistent with their minors and quizzes before? What instructional practices could have contributed to this? And then you do the same for the weaknesses. Did it surprise you? So on and so forth. And this is kind of done by yourself, and then you talk about it as teachers. And then we go on to our intervention response in terms of who needs intervention and based on what standard, because we do standards-based grading. And then you have these questions that you follow as you kind of create your intervention activity, just kind of guiding questions for the teachers. And then you do the same thing for enrichment, name of kids that need enrichment. What are you going to do for an enrichment or an extension? Same type of questions in terms of what are you thinking about as you create this. And then so that was all like your data analysis and the breakdown of it all. And then as you discuss or reflect together or individually or both, these are kind of based off your 5 essential questions in starting school improvement, right? That article, which was a big piece in our class. So like we talk about where we are now, here's some guiding questions below it. Where do we want to be? Why do we exist? How did we get to where we are? What is the difference between where we are now and where we want to be? What is your contributing cause analysis? And then how are we going to get to where we want to be? That's kind of the 4th step, kind of make your action plan. And then is what we are doing going to make a difference? So is your formative and summative evaluations, is what you're doing making a difference? So that's kind of what we're discussing and reflecting for that. And then here's our graphic organizer. We start at the top, kind of breaks down how we do this data analysis. So we start with the analyze breakdown, which is a protocol that I started with. Then we reflect with our discussion with our team of teachers, administrators are involved as well. And then we collaborate, which is where for a response. The response is intervention and enrichment. And then reteach. And then we implement those changes with a reteach, or if the scores are high enough, we're not going to reteach necessarily. So it's just for the next year. And it just keeps cycling around and around, because then once you reteach or the next year, then you're going to do the same thing for that data that you have. And this is basically all so that students have success. And this is continuous, just like demonstrated in the CFIP. And it's a guide for teachers. Like all those questions were guiding questions for discussion. Of course, you might get a little off, but that kind of guides you to help you discuss and reflect based off what I feel as a principal and aligns with our mission and vision. And then we use the data to make a decision. That's ultimately our goal. So this is, like I said, the overview. It gives teachers a vision. And this can be used for any subject, any group of kids, really. I think our data protocol is very diverse and able to be adjusted for any subject, like I said. So I hope you learned a little bit here, and here are my references. And thank you so much for listening. Have a good day.